a lot about my mother's journey, how she grew up, her relationship with her mom, why she thought, the things that she thought, why she said the things that she said, how she felt about things. I thought, oh, it's not me. you know, uh, it's her. And now I understand. Now I understand. Now I don't, I stopped taking things personally. It's not easy. It's not easy when, if your mom says something to you that hurts your feelings, you know, uh, but there's this forgiveness. And when you know your mom and you know your mom's story, then there is this forgiveness. I had a client who left home at 16. She never called her mother she never said mother or mom or mama. She called her mother by her first name. Now, what she couldn't understand was the way the mother treated her, number one, but number two, the way her mother treated her grandchildren, especially this one particular grandson. Now, after, it took a while after we just went through a lot of things, and I really wanted to talk to her mom, but her mom refused. It was over 80% of the women between the ages of 35 and 75 that felt that their relationships with their mom could stand some improvement. And there were all kinds of different reasons. And so after that, and just after even networking with different women, I just thought it was something that should be addressed. Now, the thing is, so anyway, so our journey, really, it was just, I just couldn't understand it. And I wanted to know the reason why. And they're all, from the clients that I have, they're all kinds of reasons why. Now, the reason you don't hear a lot about it is because we as women don't like to complain, really. Uh, and unless how, number one, supportive her mother was, how that the fact that her mother didn't scream and yell at her, you know, uh, and like she said, she didn't find out till much later. And when I say she found out much later, is that, she was talking with her mother and it was a memory, and you're talking, yeah, you remember this, you remember that. And that's when her mother told her. And she said it just filled me filled me up so that she didn't say, she didn't yell and scream at me. She didn't, that she was so supportive of me and my feelings, and to make me feel that I was beautiful, you know. And I thought, oh, that's, wow, in a sense, who we are, because we are brought up to be like that, to be the caregiver, so to speak, from birth to death. And yes, it can be a heavy burden, but yeah, you have to have strength. You have to, like, call on God and say, help me.
I need to send him the army.
Yeah, help me with this. It's like, you get the phone call, and once you have adult children, you get this phone call, and it's like, it depends on how they say mom or mom, or it's like, depends on how they greet you. Whether it's like, this happy thing, or it's like, oh God, what
We
is it?
all have mom. Some of us has some type of mom problem in some sort of way, but movies and media doesn't address this type of relationship. It mostly addresses dad problems. And so I am blessed to talk to Dr. Jan, who's the author of The Secrets to How Not to Throw Your Mama from the Train. So, welcome and thank you
Thank
for
you.
touching this topic because this is not a topic we normally talk about.
That's very true. And a lot, you know what? When you talked about the media, if you notice, there are a lot of movies that will show some mother-daughter dynamics, and it's always like it's funny, or it's a comedy or something like that, and it really doesn't address it. And I think the reason why is because it is hard to address. No
Mm,
one really wants to say, um, I, I don't get along with my mother,
mm,
or, I don't speak to my mother, or, it's just something that they say, okay, well, uh, it just happens, but it's no sense in talking about it,
right.
which is not true, because that mother-daughter relationship, especially the adult daughter,
Mm,
aging mother relationships. Anyway, it affects all aspects of our lives, our personal lives, our professional lives, in ways that I didn't even know until I started doing some research. That relationship, as I said, when I was doing some research, I often thought why it is that I, when I did start working, I didn't want anybody over me. I wanted, like, if it was a two-girl office, or I'm, a secretary by myself or whatever, uh, I don't want anyone supervising me,
right,
you
right.
know. Well, that's because I felt my mother was very controlling. I didn't want to be controlled.
Yeah.
I even became a teacher because I'm in the classroom, I'm my own boss, so to speak. You know what I mean? Uh, so when I say it impacts professionally, some women go into certain professions because their mom was in it, or they don't go into certain professions because their mom was in it.
Right.
And we think sometimes that the decisions that we make are independent of
Mm,
anything other than what we think, what we want, and what we feel. But if you really get deep, you'll find out it's either your father or your mom.
mm.
you know for women, it's when
If
something tragic has happened,
Mhm, mhm.
that phone call when I'm sorry to say that your daughter has passed or your mom has passed, and you have situations where you have not reconciled,
Mm,
because I have clients that are on that guilt trip. You don't want to get that call. So forgive, forgive yourself,
mm,
and then forgive your mom or your daughter.
mhm.
Forgive. Very, very important. The ones who, and I hate to say this because I'm generalizing, but when you go to those funerals and you see that daughter want to fall in the casket, having a fit,
Mhm.
acting, oh, even
No,
though
it
I wanted to be a singer, you know, I, I wanted to be an entertainer, and no, you are not. But mom, no, you are not. You going to college. And I thought, okay. And then to get an advanced degree, why don't you continue? And my thing was, why are you pushing so? Well, what I found out was that she was in college. Uh, she was doing very well, very smart. And her mother, my grandmother, pulled her out
Mm.
for whatever reason. And she was never able to go back and finish and get her degree.
Wow.
When I found that out, then it wasn't, you just don't want me to do what I want to do.
But there was something in your book that was really touching to me. It's a bit lengthy, but I feel like it's important to share to the viewer on what I am talking about
Okay.
because I just found this portion of your book very profound. So I apologize if it's lengthy, but it really speaks to what your book is about. And in this chapter, is one of your first chapters. Um, it goes about your friend Loretta, how she told you that one day when her mother was at work, she decided to go to her mother's closet and try on her mother's favorite dress. She had to use a chair to stand on to get the dress off the hanger, and the dress was a bright red with long fitted sleeves and a white lace collar. She found safety pins to pin the dress on herself. Then she saw some pretty red shoes, and of course, she tried them on with the dress. Then she went to her mother's dressing table and put on makeup and red lipstick. And as she said to me, I look like a Halloween mess. When my mother came home and saw me, I thought she was going to faint. Her eyes got big and she said, Oh Lord, what have you done? Then she said to me, You are beautiful. I did not know until later that after she washed the makeup off of me and unpinned the dress, she went into the room and cried. I had ruined her favorite. Those whose moms are not with them today, physically or in spirit, or yeah, physically, whether they're alive or not, I pray that you will just find some healing in that with your past relationship with your mom.
But, one thing I really want to say uh, to moms and daughters, you don't want to get that phone call
Yes, yes.
when that phone call, and that brought that to my mind when something tragic has happened.
Hmm.
That phone call when I'm sorry to say that your daughter has passed or your mom has passed, and you have situations where you have not reconciled
Mm.
because I have clients that are on that guilt trip. You don't want to get that call.
The fact that you took the time to write this book and your expertise to be able to help heal relationships and help heal people, even if their relationship hasn't been healed, to be able for them to move forward in the way that God would want them to move forward with love and prayer and forgiveness.